Ask the Experts Show with local celebrity hosts Steve-O and Renee. Sit back each week while Steve-O and Renee educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve-O and Renee with today's expert in their field.
Good afternoon and welcome to Ask the Experts, a show where we talk about lawyers,
everything,
doctors,
health,
home improvement.
You trying to top me?
No. So we have it all. We have got two incredible lawyers today in the studio, live. This is going to be, I don't know, it's kind of a downer talking about divorce.
We've all been through it. Well, most of us, including myself and you.
I've only been divorced 13 times.
That's it.
Well, that's when I stopped counting. Anyhow,
now, that's funny.
This is going to be a great show. We are going to educate you. And you know what? They can actually watch the show. What do they have to do? All
you have to do is go to WWNN, and on the left-hand side of the homepage is a TV link. Click on there, and voila, there we are. And I'm so excited about today's show because we already have so many emails asking us to do a family law show, especially one for myself. I emailed myself. And we're so excited to be back here at the studio. This is like our home.
It is, I know.
We started out here.
We did.
So that's big for us.
Because it's such a great station.
It really is.
We
and for the next, do you let me talk?
Talk?
Yes, talk. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to be here with attorney John Elias and attorney Karina Zuramonova. I butchered that name. I knew I was going to butcher the name.
So
pronounce your name. Pronounce your name for us.
Karina Arzumanova.
See,
oh my
I told
God!
you that's what it was.
Next time you were saying it, I was so far. I was so far off. And they'll be on our show once a month to educate you all about family law. And I said you all like I'm from Texas.
I know you. I'm rubbing off on you.
So welcome both John and Karina to the Ask the Experts radio show. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so John, let's start off with you briefly telling everybody about your practice. Tell everybody a little bit about your law practice.
My name is John Elias. I have been practicing family law for over 27 years. I only do family law and family appellate work. Family appellate work is when someone wants to appeal a decision or an order of a judge in a family court case. I handle that portion. I've got two offices, one in Miami Lakes and my main office in Pembroke Pines. I also will be working with Karina Arzumanova out of the Boca office.
I will never try to pronounce that name again. I'm sorry.
I have to say something about John. When I was waiting to meet him for the first time, I don't know if they were new clients or old clients, but they came out with a smile on their face. I mean, how many people would go to a divorce attorney and come out with a smile on their face?
Maybe he's got good prices.
Maybe he's got good information.
That would be.
I'm sure that's it also.
I don't know if you remember that day, but this big family came out and they were like happy.
Yeah. And I think that related to an adoption that was very successful.
Okay.
Oh, so you do adoptions as well?
All gambit to family law. I do divorce work, family appeals, anybody wants to appeal, adoptions, child support modifications, alimony modifications, you name it, we do those areas.
We're going to cover every single area.
We are.
And what about...
And Karina, tell us a little bit about yourself and your law practice.
Well, my name is Karina Arzumanova once again. My law practice is here in Boca, not far, 5 minutes from the studio. And I've been practicing immigration law and family law. Family law, John and I have been working on family law cases together for the last 3 years. I speak fluent Russian, English as well, hopefully.
I thought that was like a southern accent, so that's Russian?
Settle down over there, it's Russian.
Okay.
Does she sound like you? No.
I thought sort of.
No.
Yes.
Anyway, continue on.
So, and John and I have been working together for now 2.5 years on not immigration, but family law cases. And it's been great. And it's great being here. Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. So what's the difference between family law versus divorce law? Is it like the same type of thing?
It is. Divorce law falls under the rubric of family law. But in family law, it's much more broad and encompassing. You've got adoption, you have restraining orders, You've got modifications of final divorces, modifications of alimony, modifications of time sharing, i.e. custody. So it's a much more encompassing and broad subject.
Right.
As opposed to divorce is strictly the breakup of a marriage.
So when a person first comes to see you, they want to file divorce.
Correct.
Take us through the steps when someone first comes into the office. I mean, I'm sure they're distraught, they're depressed, whether it's a man or woman.
Most are.
Well, it's a very difficult time.
It is. It's very difficult. You've got to put the client at ease. It's not about the attorney, it's about the client. So when a person comes into my office, first thing is I introduce myself, give a little bit of background on what I do, how long I've been practicing, what I do, what I don't do, and then I let the client tell me what's going on. I usually give my clients anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes just to let me know what's happening, what we can do to help them.
Free initial consultation?
I always do a free initial, and I give them as much time as they need. But I need to know the full facts.
See, I should have gone to him. I could have sat and talked to him for 2 hours and told him all my problems.
I know.
And trust me, there are some clients I've had a few that spent maybe 2-3 hours telling me the whole case.
I'm sure.
Those are ones that I usually take over from another attorney where the case has gotten so complicated and so out of control that we need to take action. I usually will let the client know up front my fees, and I will let them try to get a game plan set up. Here's what we need to do, here's what we don't want to do, and take it from there.
So if there's children and a lot of assets, it probably is going to take a little bit more longer.
Very long. Not very long, but it will take longer. And it depends on the issues relating to the children.
Okay.
Whether one parent is restricting the access and contact to the other parent, what if enough child support is being paid, alimony. It's a myriad of questions that were thrown at me.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Is there legal separation in the state of Florida?
No, there is no legal separation. It's either you're married or or cohabit, but there is no legal separation.
Because if you separate, then how, if the wife has the children, they don't receive alimony initially?
Okay,
So how does that work?
There is one mechanism which I've used twice in 27 years. It's called a petition for separate maintenance. It's a rare animal. You usually get 1 or 2 filed a year in each county, and that's where a couple wants to separate for whatever reasons, religious or whatever, don't want to get divorced. And then the one spouse will receive alimony, child support, or a combination of both from the other. But they're not divorced. It's just an ongoing order. And at some point, or at any point, either party can move to turn that into full-fledged divorce.
Corinna, how do you go about dividing marital assets?
Well, in Florida, we use what we call equitable distribution of assets, and that
Men get 70% and women get 30%. That's pretty equitable.
Would you
That's
like
usually
that?
the case. I hate to say it.
Well, and equitable is the word that kind of presumes that it would be equal. But of course, it is presumed that whatever assets you obtain during the course of marriage would be divided equally. But of course, there's a number of different factors that come into play that might change that. And
How is that determined?
how's that determined? Well, judge will decide on that, and that's where we come in, because judge will be both the finder of law and finder of fact, meaning that there's no jury deciding whether to believe a husband or a wife. So that's where John and I come in, and we have to put together a good case with sufficient evidence and with reasonable explanations and good legal arguments.
Why the wife should get more?
Why the wife should get 70%.
Exactly.
Or the husband.
How do you find the hidden assets, though? That's what I would
Wow,
want.
that's a really good question, and that's where we engage other experts.
Like a forensic
Yes,
attorney.
like a forensic
You can't tell I know
accountant.
my stuff.
Yes, yes.
Can't tell I've been through this.
I see that. So that's where we would get help from forensic accountant and other experts that will, sometimes even detectives, that would help us to find those hidden assets.
Detectives. I didn't go that route.
Yes.
That was stupid.
Or you just didn't know.
I'm hiring a detective today.
I don't think there's much to worry about.
I don't think so. So Florida's a no contest state. So explain to people what that means, being a no contest state.
Well, no fault, Renee, means that you can file a divorce for whatever reason you like. You don't like the spouse's color of hair.
That's what I told my ex-wife. It wasn't my fault.
Right.
It's kind of the same
It's
thing.
never your fault. That's a problem.
There's no impediment to getting a divorce in Florida. Rarely I've had maybe 2 or 3 cases where one spouse doesn't want it. The judge might say, they'll try to put a stay on it for a short period of time to let the parties reconcile, but that usually doesn't work.
So what's the time frame usually once you file for a divorce?
Renee, it could take a month if it's an agreement, if there's an agreement.
Right.
Or it could take 3 to 4 years depending on the amount of litigation. Right now I'm involved in one divorce. Actually, it's a post-divorce where I took over a case after an appeal was filed by the former husband. I represent the former wife. She's informed me that the divorce has been over 8 years now.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Because of the amount of assets and alimony issues. So
Wow.
that's not the norm. The norm is about at the most a year if there's a lot of issues, but they can take long.
That's not unusual in South Florida with all the money down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be very time-consuming, money-draining, and emotionally draining.
Yeah.
I have a term that I have no idea what it is.
What?
It's called a dissolution of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
It's the same thing as a divorce. It's just dissolving the marriage. In Florida, the courts don't use the term divorce. They use dissolution of marriage.
So
They don't.
What's the Is it a longer term, or is it same as going through a divorce?
Same thing.
Okay.
It's the same.
Just another terminology.
It's just-
Fancy term. Yeah.
It's just the terminology used by the courts and the judges in our system.
It's got to be. You must hear some of the saddest stories. We've worked with attorneys forever, and it seems like divorce attorneys really get all the garbage that is out there. There's so many. I mean, especially when there's children involved. And how do you guys do it? I mean, how do you stay sane with this? I mean, I know it's your job and everything, but
When I was in law school, one attorney, practicing family law attorney, said to me that if she was to get another degree, she would get a degree, graduate degree in psychology. That's exactly what I got.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Smart.
I
Very
have
smart.
2 degrees, and that really helps to understand the emotional pain and all the emotional factor that comes in with divorce, and that's definitely a very big part of it, because John and I have seen over and over again how people do not make rational decisions that make legal sense, but rather would act on the emotions. Even if we...
Well, it's very emotional when you get divorced.
Absolutely. It's actually, I think that I read a study that said that it was second most stressful experience anyone would ever go through in their entire life, first being death of their close family members. So it is a very difficult time in our client's life, and we definitely understand that. And
you invest a lot of money in. We're getting ready to go to in tissues.
yes, Costco
Kleenex.
wholesale.
We're going to go to break, and we're going to be right back. And I want to delve into some other things, especially about husbands.
I'm sure you do.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
The law office of John Elias understands that choosing a family law attorney is a difficult decision. The outcome of your case will likely affect your family's future for years to come. You need to set your mind at ease and call attorney John Elias at 954-392-1501. Attorney John Elias will be open and honest with you about what to expect in your case and treat you with the respect and compassion you deserve. John Elias's practice has been devoted to family law in Florida for over 25 years. He will be there with you every step of the way. John Elias has offices in Pembroke Pines and Boca Raton. Whether you are thinking about filing for divorce, or you are having trouble with child support, relocation, or adoption, you should contact attorney John Elias for any family law matter at 954-392-1501. That's 954-392-1501.
And we're back. Listen, if you have a question for John or Karina,
Or for us too.
or for us, no, we're not. Just call us here at the station, 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470. And I'm going to tell you something. We have them for month to month now. They'll be back next month.
I know, I love it.
And the next month, I know. So And if you want to watch today's show,
and you know something, and divorce is so prevalent. It really is. So
I love
people,
it when you use
you
big
like
words.
big words,
Yes,
okay?
Renee.
As long as they're not 4-letter words.
Exactly. So, and if you want to watch the show today, you can go to www.wwnnradio.com, and right there in the left-hand corner, it says WWNN.
You see a picture of the
TV.
TV, just click on there, and voila.
We're live right now.
We are. Okay, so can you explain what marital assets are?
Yes, marital assets, Renee, are assets that are acquired during the course of a marriage. Normally, anything acquired during the course of the intact marriage is considered marital. And
Has nothing to do with what you bring into the marriage.
Right, I was going to say, what happens if you have money before you get married?
okay, that's a very good question. If you use an example, I'll give you an example. Let's say I have $50,000 that I had before I married my wife, and I went ahead and put that into a joint asset. I lose what they call the non-marital component. It means it becomes a marital asset. It means that I gifted her half of my
Unless you have a prenup, basically.
Unless you have a prenup.
Right.
Or unless I put in the deed or in a bank account saying this belongs solely to me as opposed to my wife. So unless you have a prenup or you have some language in your document that states that that is non-marital, i.e. belongs to
Right.
both, that will be considered marital and 50-50. Another question I get a lot is when working fathers come in and will tell me, John, I'm the one that's worked all these years.
It doesn't matter,
She's
right?
been home all the time. I brought all the money. I bought the home.
And she took care of the kids and did everything in the house,
And she
and he
didn't
doesn't
pay
want
for
to give her
anything.
nothing.
And she didn't.
Right.
She didn't pay for anything. I say no. That's a marital asset.
Right.
Because while you worked, she stayed home and took care of the kids.
Because that's considered work if the
That's
woman's home
considered
taking
work,
care of children.
and it's as much work as what you're doing.
More. Thank you very
Hit a
much.
soft spot, Renee?
A little bit.
So
And let me ask you another question. Can a husband get alimony?
yes, I have
Okay.
several
Can.
cases.
I'd have to kill him.
The concept of alimony is based on the respective needs and abilities of each party. It doesn't matter the gender. If
So if the woman's making more than the man, is that it? And they're living a high lifestyle, he would be entitled to alimony.
it depends on the length of the marriage, the incomes of the respective parties, and the lifestyle.
What do you mean by the length of the marriage? Is there a certain time frame that you
Oh,
have to be
yes.
married? Which is what?
Well, an example, from 1 to 7 years is considered a nominally short-term marriage, and there might be nominal alimony. From 7 to 15 years is considered a moderate-term marriage, which a party would be entitled, if appropriate, to durational alimony. Anything
So
else?
never stay married past 7 years. That's
all
what
you
I've
gotta
learned
do.
from this.
That's all you do.
Really, I mean, if you think about it.
And then you've got from 16 on, which is considered presumed permanent periodic. There's also other forms, durational, temporary, permanent periodic, and lump sum. So
Wow.
There's 4 different types.
Did you get that all?
I
Did you
gotta
get that
say
all?
this because we've worked with all different types of attorneys. There's attorneys who have shingles. You know, not this kind of shingles.
Okay.
The chicken pox
No,
shingles?
not those kind of, on their door, it says, we do personal injury, bankruptcy,
Right, they don't
family."
specialize
They have
in
a
any
whole
particular type of
area.
law.
Yes.
You have got to have someone like John and Karina that specialize
yes.
in this area.
Right. Family law, any other area of law is very specialized. You've got to know your law, you've got to know your judges, you've got to know your client. And I recommend that if you intend to go through a divorce or any family law matter, that you hire a qualified family law attorney.
Just tell everybody again where each of your offices are, because we're in Broward
give your
and
address.
Palm Beach.
Yes, I have 3 offices. I have one in Miami Lakes and at 8105 Northwest 154th Street off the Palmetto. My main office is in Pembroke Pines, 11200 Pines Boulevard, right across the mall. And then Karina and I work out of the Boca Raton office at 301 Yamato Road. in
So you
Boca
cover
Raton.
Broward and Palm Beach County, which is perfect. Give your website.
My website is www.johneliasfamilylaw.com. Again, www.johneliasfamilylaw.com.
And Karina, give yours as well.
www.attorneyinbocaraton.net.
That's
Isn't that
very
weird?
easy.
They both start with
Yeah.
www. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And you know what? Give us your phone numbers too, your office phone numbers.
Right. My office number, the main one is 954-392-1501.
and my office number is 561-756-9370.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Karina. Under what circumstances can you reduce your alimony payments, or it could be terminated, like once it's been established?
Once it's been established, you would have to file a petition once again to modify alimony, and circumstances that would make eligible for that would be such as death of a spouse, if the spouse marries another person who has significant and substantial income to support him or her, or
So that goes both ways?
yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely, and that was a very important thing.
Another hot spot for Renee.
I have a lot of hot spots.
Yes, and also if there's some sort of cohabitation going on with the spouse who's receiving alimony, that might also be a factor that will make the spouse eligible for the reduction in alimony.
Now, I was told if you have somebody move in with you, that they could take the alimony away as well.
Yes,
Not just getting married.
Yes, that's exactly what I was referring to a second ago. If you're just living with someone and receiving substantial alimony, that income coming in from a person you're just living with might be so significant, so substantial, that it will be just fair to reduce the alimony you're receiving from an ex-wife or ex-husband.
Right, so you don't have to be married to have a reduction.
Correct.
You
Wow.
know, when I'm from Texas, and in Texas, when you have children, when your first child turns 18, it's reduced by 25%. When your second child turns 18, it's reduced by 20%. Whereas it used to be, you had to wait till the last. In my case, I had 3 children. Had to wait till
You
the last.
did?
Oh,
I didn't know
tell
that.
you that, did I?
That's a surprise.
I know. Well,
Where have you been keeping them?
we don't talk about Herman very much, but that's how it's handled in Texas. Now it's when the child now turns 18, it's reduced by a certain percentage.
Well, you
How
don't
is it
get
done
child support
How
here,
is
right?
it done in Florida? Let's say if you have 3 or 4 kids, of course they're all different ages.
Go ahead.
Well, what happens?
I mean, does it get reduced as
Yes,
they turn
yes,
18?
as each child is, the obligation for that particular child is ended, then the child support obligation for the remaining children or child or children reduces accordingly.
Okay.
And then they look at the incomes of the parties. Now in Florida, in the final judgments, it's put in the final judgment that when a certain child reaches a certain age, is emancipated, i.e. child is terminated, the remaining support for the remaining children is X. And as each one turns 18, the court will specify in the final judgment.
And what happens if they continue on in school, like college? So that can be modified, or no?
No, there's no provision in the Florida statutes for support beyond 18 or 19 if they're still in high school. None for college. That can be agreed to in a marital settlement agreement or some sort of agreement that the parties will provide beyond high school, which is enforceable if you agree to it. But the court cannot force either party or either parent to pay for post-high school.
Well, how is child support? How do you come up with a number for child support?
The courts will look at the respective incomes of the parties, gross incomes, and then there's a chart that says if the parties have, an example, one child, and they have a combined income of $10,000, the child support obligation is X. Then they look at respective incomes. If one party makes,
Is it a combined income of both?
yes, and then what they look is at the respective percentages of the parties. If both parties earn about the same, then the figure is 50-50. If it's 70, the husband makes more, then his obligation is higher.
Right.
Then you look into the time sharing, and the more time sharing that the payer spouse has, the less you will pay in child support.
How do they determine visitation? I mean, because the kids are my most important thing. How do the courts determine your visitation rights?
Well, the court will look at the big picture, the big term that we all family law attorneys use as the best interest of the child.
That's the way it should be.
Yes, and that's what they look at. And with that in mind, they try to arrange for a most comfortable and convenient situation for children. So if one spouse works, excessively, then the time sharing would go mainly to a spouse who doesn't work as much. Also, if kids go to school, then we're going to try to request, and judges will usually agree with us, to have kids in one place. Like if they've resided with mom all along and they go to school next to mom's house, that's where they're going to be Monday through Friday, and then weekends they'll be spending with dad. Stereotypically.
Wow, that's
saying.
a bummer. I'd want to see him every day still, somehow.
Well, if you get along with your ex-wife, then you can.
Oh, okay.
If you're nice and you get along with your ex-spouse, yes, you can.
Okay.
My kids are like 30. I still want them to go visit their father. They can have custody.
And let me follow up with that, Steve. In Florida, it's presumed that each parent has 50-50 time sharing.
Okay.
The word custody is no longer applicable in Florida.
Oh, it's not?
No. There's no longer the quote.
So it's not like the mother has custody
No.
anymore. So it's just split down the middle.
It's considered presumed that each parent should have equal time sharing, but it depends on the circumstance of each parent, what, their working hours,
Right.
their living accommodations.
I
that they
actually
have
think
for their
that's
children.
fair.
Yes. And if they're willing to spend quality time with their children.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when they fight about that by not wanting to see him. That would just kill me.
Well, unfortunately, when it comes to a divorce, things get ugly and they fight about everything.
No,
The children, you don't want to do
I've had
that.
circumstances where I've had fathers say, I don't want to see the child.
Wow.
Really?
That's
It's
amazing.
rare, but I've had that. And in that case, they will pay the full amount of child support.
Put him in timeout.
Wow.
Wow. There's
Put him
so
on an
many-
island.
Yeah, really. There's
Really.
so many things. This is you see how fast it goes by. It goes by really fast. We have so many things that we want to cover, which we're going to save for next month.
Yes.
I want to give you give your addresses again and phone
And
number.
phone numbers.
There should be.
301 Yamato Road, Suite 1240, Boca Raton, Florida, 33431. And my number is 561-756-9370. My website is www.attorneyinbocaraton.net. And here's John with his address.
And my website is www.johnnyeliasfamilylaw.com. My main office is in Pembroke Pines, 11200 Pines Boulevard, Suite 200, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33026.
Very easy to find.
Right.
Why do you charge $30 for parking there?
It's got to make his money somewhere.
Parking is very easy. It was so easy to find.
Yes.
You got a great
It's free.
office.
He's
Yeah.
kidding.
And
It's free.
And I do have a satellite in Miami Lakes at 8105 Northwest 154th Street.
Well, this has been. God, this went by so
It
fast.
really did.
There
I have
are
so many
so-
questions.
I
I
know.
can't wait till next month.
I want to talk about adoption next time and prenups next time. And
Yes, I'd like to talk about prenups next time.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm just saying.
You have prenups and you have post-ops.
Okay, I'll take both.
So this has been a fast 30 minutes. If you have a business, if you've got a law practice or you're a doctor or a home improvement, call us at 954-336-3767 if you'd like to come on our show. We're actually sold out on Fridays. We're now going to...
We're opening up Mondays now.
Yes.
Drive time, 4 to 5.
Give us a call, 954-336-3767. Thank you guys
Thanks, guys, for coming on.
today. You did a great job. This is the first time for you both.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
We'll see you next month.
Take care.
So let's go to break and we'll be right back.
Peace and love.
The law office of John Elias understands that choosing a family law attorney is a difficult decision. The outcome of your case will likely affect your family's future for years to come. You need to set your mind at ease and call attorney John Elias at 954-392-1501. Attorney John Elias will be open and honest with you about what to expect in your case and treat you with the respect and compassion you deserve. John Elias's practice has been devoted to family law in Florida for over 25 years. He will be there with you every step of the way. John Elias has offices in Pembroke Pines and Boca Raton. Whether you are thinking about filing for divorce or you are having trouble with child support, relocation, or adoption, you should contact attorney John Elias for any family law matter at 954-392-1501. That's 954-392-1501. Be sure to catch the Ask the Experts show every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. with celebrity hosts Steve-O and Renee as they interview local experts in the field of law, health, financial, and home improvement. on AM 1470 WNN. U.S. Mold are the area's mold and water damage experts, dedicated to removing and preventing further dangers of mold. It's important to keep your family and pets safe from the effects of mold building up in your home, and mold in your workplace is another point of concern. Damp areas, water leaks, excessive coughing, mildew, and musty odors are all signs of possible mold infestation. Don't delay. Call the professionals at U.S. Mold and rest easy knowing that your indoor air will be fit to breathe again. U.S. Mold offers the most comprehensive mold inspection, mold testing, mold removal, odor removal, and flood damage restoration services in South Florida, serving the Palm Beaches, Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Jupiter, Stewart, and surrounding areas. U.S. Mold has the knowledge and experience to effectively restore the indoor air quality of any size building, and they do so in an efficient, professional, and friendly way. Call U.S. Mold today at 561-748-2223 or visit them online at usmold.com. Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. ampsquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amptotv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The ampsquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv. The first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
Okay, and we're back, and we had U.S. Mold coming on, but they can't find the building. So right now with us in studio, we have one of our favorite production companies.
Wow.
We have Amp2.tv, Freddie Santori, live in studio with us. Welcome to the show, Freddie.
How are you guys? You know, I'm used to seeing you guys on the other side of the camera.
I know.
So as soon as the mole guy shows up, I'm out of here.
So I know that U.S. Mold is not going to be on today, and maybe it was my fault. Maybe so.
Did you give them wrong directions?
No, I didn't. I just gave them the address.
Oh.
So
You didn't give him directions.
No, I don't think I gave them the right. Anyway.
Okay, whatever it is. So we're going to talk about Amp2.tv, and this is our production company for Ask the Experts, as well as we have another show, which I'm not going to mention, that we started out in this radio station.
I know. You know what? And Freddie, Amp2TV, has grown with us because he came in right when we were like halfway through with WWNN, and you know.
Can you imagine doing a show without them? And Linda Harmon, we have to also mention her as well.
Yeah, she's already picking at me behind me. But you guys are fantastic. You know, the people that would just hear the show before that you
It's
do,
really, that was
they were
such
really happy. You guys do a wonderful job.
Thank you for saying that.
How
much are you paying him? You're paying him to say
Well,
Give him his check.
I get to see you guys every week now for over a year, and I get to see you twice, maybe 3 times a week for over a year. You guys have
This is like
chemistry
my
is
brother
unbelievable.
now, and my brother and my
From another
sister.
mother.
Yeah, and then we got Freddie Jr. here, and man, you guys have just really, really gone a long way. I mean,
So tell us a little
amazing.
bit about Amp2TV for people that need production companies. So
Well, one of the things when we started this company 5 years ago, I told people that I was going to put radio on television, and everybody looked at me like I was nuts, you know. But as your show has shown, and the numbers that you guys produce are tremendous. Food is something that you guys do. You do this show, and everybody wants is visual. You know, it's easier to read a comic book with pictures. And what happens is people come in here, they see the things that you do, you make them feel comfortable. They bring video with them, they bring pictures with
you're
them.
talking about me, right?
I'm talking about the beautiful woman on the other side of the table.
Give
and
him extra money.
No, but it's a concept that works, and you guys actually made it so that the ideas that we had on paper come to life. You know, I applaud because we do over 50 shows a week.
Wow.
and
He's a busy man.
It's not easy. You know, doing production is one thing, but what you guys do and what you bring every week is unbelievable. This concept acts the experts.
You know, I've
Tremendous.
always wanted to ask you, I don't know why, I always forget, what all areas do you do? I mean, you don't just
What,
do...
all areas?
Yeah, well, that's
That's like a
Texas
Texan
talk.
He's
term.
from Texas.
Texas man,
That's
yeah,
Texas
right.
talk. But, I mean,
Freddie's from New York.
I know. I've always wondered if... Do you do weddings? Bar mitzvahs?
No, I don't do weddings or bar mitzvahs. I was going to do that, but I stopped because the first wedding that Linda booked, the bride was Godzilla. And we should have
That's
done...
funny.
We should have... no, you can't. Yes, you can. But the problem is that weddings are so emotional, and it's usually the bride. Very emotional, and I just can't
You
get
can't
into
deal
that
with
whole
that.
thing. No, I'd rather have people that want to show either their businesses, a concept, come on radio, or just do website work and show what you can do. You know, this is not easy, guys. You guys make it look easy. Got a lot of comedy, good chemistry. You make this seem so simple. It's not. It's work. It's complicated, but
Well, when people come into the studio, first of all, it's very intimidating being on live radio. And
Right.
then to have all the cameras and lights and everything else, I mean, it is very overwhelming.
Well, I do all the work. Renee doesn't do anything
Oh,
else.
settle
I
down
do-
over there. You do nothing.
Okay. Sometimes I do.
Okay, just a little. Don't take credit for the whole thing.
Well, but I've always like
Crazy.
there's people out in the audience right now.
Right.
Here we're talking about production work. That's really what you do.
That's
is
correct.
production work.
Right, he's the expert. We're asking the expert in the field of production.
Yes.
You do commercials.
We do
you
commercials,
shows. And we know we have business people out there. There are so many things that you can do to help your business when
That's
you
right.
make it video.
That's right. It's just as important as a business card. You know, your website is important. The more traffic you drive there, and you guys know all about that. It makes it easier to sell your concept, your ideas, and your
Absolutely,
business.
yeah.
So what we do is we package together to bring a video packaging to your business. We want people to see you. We want people to get to know you, your humor side, your not so humorous side, your business side. All of that comes out on film.
Right.
And it looks fantastic. And to mention commercials, we were lucky enough to get commercials from somebody we all know on the World Cup, you know, for ESPN. We were
Wow.
on there. And it was really a highlight of
know
our
that.
career. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we just got contacted yesterday by Ion TV to put in some production in there. So we're going to have some meeting with some people that we know in this room.
And Freddie has so many connections. That's what's so great.
He's connected.
Oh, is he connected?
I said he's from New York,
He's
so he's
from New York.
connected now.
He is
Ay
so-
vey.
There you go. That's not true, by the way.
No, but I mean, he's working on some national stuff, trying to get us some national work. But it is, I got to say this about Freddie, is Freddie and Linda just make you feel so comfortable. I never worry. When we're doing the show, I never worry. I might worry if someone's not here on time.
Right,
or doesn't-
exactly.
Right. But I never worry about the
'Cause you know everything's
actual
gonna be perfect.
work. Yes. And, I mean, Freddie and Linda created our logo, and we were just blown away. So there's a lot of things that you do that aren't just, they have to do with production work.
Well, that's true. We put logos together. We put what they call lower thirds, and we put camera
What was
angles. Lower thirds.
You know,
Like
when
the
your third is
name.
lowered.
We lower your third. Not in Renee's world, but we put a name plate underneath and things.
Lower your
Lower
third.
third.
Yeah.
I never heard that terminology.
Yeah.
Hey,
lower
listen,
thirds.
when Freddie came up to me and said, I need you to do a salad. What the heck is
He
a
asked
salad?
me, he said, what's a salad? I said, that's a New York term.
You don't know what a salad
Do me a
is?
favor.
I do now.
Salad is a favor. He doesn't know. You have to teach him New York lingo here.
You know
He
what
doesn't
you know what a
understand
vig is, right? Somebody
No.
says it's interest.
Oh, that's interest
what
on
it
the
is.
salad.
But
I've got two New Yorkers ganging up on me right here.
no, but we
that. Listen, if I was gagging up on you, you'd know it.
I would? Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
don't tell them that because they're going to end the show early.
No, we're not. Believe me, I'm Jewish. No, we're not.
And you know, the funny thing is that I never get to sit in this chair being interviewed. I mean, I'm like twisting and turning
Oh,
here.
that's
'cause
right.
I'm always doing the interviewing, so this is a little bit different as well. But I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity actually to shoot you.
Listen, you're not
Well,
just...
we appreciate all you do, Freddie. Really.
Well, we
he's
try to do it
such
right.
a great friend.
Try to
That's
do it
right. I mean, we get emails all the time going, it's so much fun watching the show versus listening to it on
We
radio.
have a huge audience that just watch us, viewers, after the fact, after our shows, which is wonderful.
I know. Let's, you know what? I want to go to break, and let's. I know we have a U.S. mold break right now coming up, so let's do the break, and when we come back, I want to talk to Freddie about making websites with videos. That it just changes your entire website.
It does. Okay, so we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
I think he's called.
U.S. Mold are the area's mold and water damage experts, dedicated to removing and preventing further dangers of mold. It's important to keep your family and pets safe from the effects of mold building up in your home, and mold in your workplace is another point of concern. Damp areas, water leaks, excessive coughing, mildew, and musty odors are all signs of possible mold infestation. Don't delay. Call the professionals at U.S. Mold and rest easy knowing that your indoor air will be fit to breathe again. U.S. Mold offers the most comprehensive mold inspection, mold testing, mold removal, odor removal, and flood damage restoration services in South Florida, serving the Palm Beaches, Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Jupiter, Stewart, and surrounding areas. U.S. Mold has the knowledge and experience to effectively restore the indoor air quality of any size building, and they do so in an efficient, professional, and friendly way. Call U.S. Mold today at 561-748-2223 or visit them online at usmold.com.
And we're back. Are you back, Steve-O?
Oh, I'm so back.
Okay, I wasn't quite sure there for a second.
I feel bad for U.S. Mold because
Okay, well, he's going to have to come in another day.
No, I understand, but
unfortunately.
we had so much great information about U.S. Mold because there's so much to know.
Well, especially here in especially here in South Florida. It's a big problem. It really is.
If you're a homeowner, mold, it's dangerous. It's
deadly. You could die
Exactly.
from mold.
And John, U.S. Mold is like one of the top mold removal companies in all of South Florida. I had lunch with him, and his.
Is that why he didn't come in?
Maybe so.
He talked to you, said, "Forget it."
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was upset that I took him to Dairy Queen. Could have been, but I paid for it though.
Listen, they have hot dogs there now.
Wouldn't you leave them there? You didn't leave them there.
No.
Did you pay for it?
Well, most of it.
Oh, okay.
This is Dairy
Did you ask
Queen.
him to leave a tip because there's no waitresses over there?
See, a lot of people don't know. Renee and I are restaurant critics, and I know the right places to take people to.
Yeah, Dairy Queen, perfect.
Hey, this place had tables and chairs too.
Is there a Dairy Queen out here?
Of course there.
There's a million of them.
Well,
What
they're
are
on
you
the
talking
phone.
about?
Something about a lawsuit or something.
Yes.
No.
But anyway, U.S. I'm really excited that they're on our show because they are the best. And there's, especially for snowbirds, when they leave to go back
And
home.
they put the hurricane shutters up.
Yeah, and they turn the air
all the way
conditioner up.
And
Like,
I know that creates mold.
the worst thing you can possibly do. So we'll have we'll have Mike on real soon. We'll make this up to him. So let's get back with Freddie. Freddie, we deal with a lot of lawyers and doctors, and everybody, they spend all this money on their websites, but basically they're all the same.
Correct.
So when you can add video to a website...
Any video component, it makes a major difference.
That's correct. And we give you the codes so you can embed your show on your website.
Right.
We make it a simple transfer. And if you don't have a website, we can construct one for you. We can make it very complicated.
You
We
run
can
the
make
full
it-
gamut. You do everything.
We do everything so that you can just pop it in, make it very simple. You could do blogs, you could do websites, you could do anything you want as far as video streaming is concerned. We can do even remote streaming. So if you have a client that wants to do something in their office and they don't want to come into studio, they want to be, ask the expert in his office, I can actually set up a studio there and it's streamed into the radio station or not. It depends
I don't
on
know.
what
We're
you
not
want.
traveling right now. We're not taking the show on the road.
You never
We've done
know.
that before, too.
I know. We've done that a lot of times.
Listen, Freddie's done some amazing things when we
The live remotes that we've
the
done,
live
yes.
remotes.
Oh, they
he
were
goes
fun.
into
Yeah.
the
A lot of
kitchen,
fun.
and Renee is sitting there. Well, you weren't sitting there; you were standing there.
No, you were sitting there.
Of
I was
course.
cooking. like I usually do.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
sit there and I cook.
She was melted in front of the furnace, remember?
Oh, that's
The
right.
pizza?
Listen,
But
if he would have thrown me in the furnace, so we won't even go there.
But we did Moderanos, and when you cook with Steve Moderano,
That was fun.
that's big time.
So Freddie filmed that,
He filmed
and
that.
that meatball room also.
The
That was
meatball
fun.
room,
That was fun.
really cool. So, but I got to tell you how we work with radio stations all over the country. No one else is doing video streaming.
Right, they
That
do a
is
lot of audio
just-
streaming. They
Yeah.
do the audio.
Yeah, they'll give you, they'll give you the audio for your
Podcast.
So, like, you're like a pioneer with this.
Well, it's funny because some of the shows that we took on the road, we learned a lot, and we were one of the few companies that have even attempted to do it live. And for that, I applaud you guys. I tip my hat because not many people would take a show and attempt to do this live. And you've gotten emails.
TV stations won't
Yeah.
even allow
Listen,
it.
let me
Yeah.
tell you something. I mean, sometimes it didn't go off as planned, but you have to try to do things to improve your show
Yeah.
or your website or anything.
Well, we just invested $20,000 in improvements. Where the cameras now will be able to extend, which was a problem. Steve used to say, "But the camera's bouncy. The camera's bouncy."
It's like a home video.
Yeah. So we've brought in 150 feet of cable now, so we're able to expand to go into the kitchens, and I can follow you now and carry the
More
sound.
wires
and-
to trip on
That's
with my
right.
That's
heels.
right.
That's right. As long as Linda doesn't pull them out the wall, we're in good shape.
But
True.
that's amazing because TV stations will not allow a live show except
No.
for their newscast.
That's right. Or sports.
Yes, and we've all found out there's a reason for that. I mean, to pull off a
Well,
show
it's a
live.
difficult process.
Yeah, I mean, because there's so many things that can go wrong.
And it's funny because usually when something goes wrong, it's going to come. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen repeatedly. But again, we learned a lot from the remotes we did with you guys. We learned about distance. We learned about sound, capturing sound. And because you're at a radio station, they require you to have a very clean wavelength, a very clean sound. So we've improved on that as well. So we're looking forward to the future and the challenges that you guys bring us. But we've learned a ton of stuff doing this particular show and the one that you have at the other
We
stations.
talked to one of our stations in Dallas. Now, here's a huge market. It's probably number 4, 5, or 6 in the country.
Right.
They go, what? You're doing video streaming? So,
Well, we have all the advanced technologies with
That's amazing,
amptotv. Give everybody your website address.
It's simple. It's amp2.tv, which my 14-year-old son put together when we started. And our phone number is 866-224-5422. And it's simple. You go on there and you just let us know, you want to do
And there's a
production.
Contact us is on there.
That's it. Just contact us. I mean, we make it as simple as we can. And if you have an idea and you need help on making it grow, we do that as well. I mean, we do a lot of stuff. We
I
try
see
anything.
on social media, especially Twitter, all these like fake TV stations. I guess I don't even know what you call them. They call themselves TV, but yeah, maybe someone's listening now because Freddie and Linda and Freddie Jr. are without a doubt
The best team ever,
I mean,
yes.
we've been with them now for well over a year, and I wouldn't even think about unless someone
Listen,
paid
we did a
us.
show a few weeks ago. What were you saying?
I said I wouldn't even think about using someone else unless
It's
they brought
lonely without them. You had your son's graduation a few
That's
weeks
right.
ago. We walked
That's
into the
right.
studio and
I
the
know.
cameras and the lights. I like the cameras and the lights. I really do. Anyway, it wasn't in the studio. It felt strange for a second,
I know
didn't
it
it?
did. It felt
Because
really
we're so
weird.
used to that.
I know.
And it's funny because I heard that show. You guys are on iHeart, like we are
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And I heard the show, and I was I was listening, and on there you had the old shows. So people came around after you guys finished, and we put on the old shows. We were sitting at somewhere in Tampa, I don't know what it was, and everybody came over and says, "What is that?" And I says, "This is radio. You can watch radio."
It's amazing. The technology's amazing. It really is.
It's just, and it's a credit to what we do in the software as well as the cameras. We've reduced the cameras to make it smaller because the space is very small. And we're moving ahead. We're going to pioneer a few ideas that we have going. We're going to make the look better. It's a high-def look. You know that 4K is coming, which is going to make it so that you can actually put your hand through the camera. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but...
Don't you dare put your hand through the camera.
Put your hand through the
I
camera.
mean, it's
I
going
don't
to
know
be
what
like
that's
a 3D look. It's going to be...
Do I have to wear those funny glasses?
No. This is all part of the new technology that's coming. It's so advanced that they have the cameras, but they don't have the televisions to play them on. So it's for the future. But again,
All I know is
we've
that I
learned a
keep
lot.
always hear in my mind the green screens. We have to get the green screens. Tell everybody what a green screen is.
Well, it's funny because we have a mobile green screen unit where we put this green felt or blue, depending on the color, and it allows us to put you anywhere in the world. And we've done commercials for a lot of companies.
So it looks like they could actually put us up, and it looks like we're in Europe.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
That
It's like
movie.
we're traveling.
What was the movie with the lady up in space? What's her name? Bullock. Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, when she was in space in the.
Never saw it.
Well, if you see that movie at the movie theater.
Was she in Old Yeller?
No.
No. Bonnie and Clyde?
No.
Okay.
But
It was Faye Dunaway.
That's a 3D room, and what they do is they tie strings on you, wires, and they fly you around the room.
I draw the line.
Yeah,
You're
I'm not doing the
You are
wires.
not putting. We'll put the wires on Steve-O.
I put a wings on me like an angel. Oh,
fly him up
that's
to the
not
air.
a good look. Not for me.
But it's a
I
lot
think that would be funny.
But it's a lot of fun. Oh, he would be hilarious.
That would be hysterical.
You know, we do a show, and you have her flying around you.
She already
and
does.
you
What are you talking about?
She'll be in the air.
Freddie, I
around
fly
you.
around with my broom. What are you talking about?
We use a green screen around her, and you can put her anywhere. You can put her in
You
Spain.
know, we ought to tell people some of the shows that are coming up. We have a estate planning attorney coming in. We have a sleep apnea doctor. We're going to be talking about sleep apnea.
Land Rover.
Land Rover and Jaguar. We have the general manager.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about buying new cars.
And it's not Jaguar. You know, it's Jaguar.
Oh, that's the commercial.
Yes, but it is. It's Jaguar.
Yeah. So, and we're going to talk about buying a new car, pre-owned, financing,
The
service.
possibility of buying me a Jaguar.
God, that's a beautiful car.
It really is.
Wow.
But I have a question for you guys. When you guys bring in companies that are well established, and you bring in
Yes.
companies that are not that well established,
Yes.
right? So the product actually is to enhance those that have it going on and those that want to get it going on, correct?
Exactly. But
That doesn't sound right.
no, but our main goal is educating our listeners.
Right.
Because these are not common shows that are going to come on. They're all different shows. We have a addiction show coming on.
Yes. Alcoholism,
we
substance
have,
abuse.
I mean, we have some incredible. We have a
And just having the
foreclosure.
family attorneys on today. I mean, there were so many questions that they answered that I wasn't aware of when I was going through my divorce. I
Exactly.
mean, these are the things that you want to hear.
I was kidding Freddie before the show. I told him we signed Otis Elevators. We're going to have an elevator show. Teach people about elevators.
You'll be doing that by yourself.
I know. I guess it sounded
gonna be-
better the first time.
It really did. It didn't even sound good the first time, by
But
the way.
we're talking to veterinarians. We're talking to cardiologists.
Cosmetic surgeons.
Cosmetic surgeons. We're going to have some incredible shows coming up. There's a show out there for everybody. So that's going to be cool.
Yes.
And we're also trying to get the
Funeral. I mean, we had a funeral home on
we have a
last week.
funeral home that's going to be on with us every
Yes.
month. We are talking to the lottery people about doing a show with us. I want to know
7-Eleven. You're talking to 7-Eleven?
No, I'm talking to the Florida Lottery.
Now
about-
that's interesting. What would you do with Florida Lottery?
Tell me how to win. That's it. Just tell me. I already know one of the
Wait
things.
a second. Actually, we're having a casino also.
We're talking to several of the casinos about having a casino show, but they're all educational shows.
They're going to teach me how to play roulette better.
I do.
Because I always win. I have to tell you, I always win
You
when
know what?
play
I
roulette.
do know something though. I did learn something with the scratch-offs.
What?
It's every 10th card.
So what do you do? Count to 10?
No.
So they make you buy. That feels like the stupidest thing. So they make you buy 10 cards. Who told you this? The owner of 7-Eleven?
Elevator company.
Yeah.
right.
No, I'm just saying. Who told you that? The owner of 7-Eleven told you to buy 10
No,
cards?
I actually went one time. I had a little extra money on me.
He bought 10 cards.
And no, I bought 30 cards.
And what'd you
All
win?
the
A
same.
dollar? You won a buck?
On the 10th one, I did. On the second 10th
You
one.
made out really well.
Yeah.
So would you get $3 out of the deal?
So I
He
spent.
got nothing. He got a dollar.
No.
Three times.
Right, so he lost $29.
27.
No, listen, there were $2 cards. So if I bought
man.
30 cards, that was $60.
Listen, nobody's tuning in next week if you continue this.
I'm
I'm just saying, okay? You want people to listen to us next week. I wouldn't be talking about
It
this.
doesn't really help you at all, though, because you don't know what's the 10th card.
And there you have it.
Phase me out. Let's talk about amptotv. I'd rather
I'm
talk
just
about
saying.
them
So,
than the lottery
but
cards.
next week we have the estate planning people coming on with us.
Yes.
And we also have, I believe we have the sleep apnea people coming on with us.
Cool.
Next week?
Yeah.
Well, and you have
No,
some-
no, I'm sorry. We have a roofer coming on because there's so many. You ever notice the trucks that go around in the neighborhood and they tell you you need a new roof? We're going to tell you who you can trust and who
Or
you
when
can't.
it rains, and all of a sudden you see a puddle on the floor.
I think we
Especially
got
now
all-
in
yeah,
Florida
so
with all the rain. It's hurricane
we
season.
actually we have a very famous roofer coming on with us next week. So I mean, we listen. People get ripped off all the time.
They do.
And especially with home improvement people. How many times in the neighborhood we've had people come up want to cut our trees? Oh, you need this. If you don't do this, you're going to have rats running around the top of your roof. Well, we already do. So
Listen,
what
I'm
does it
used to
matter?
rats. I lived in New York. I'm fine with that. I have a broom.
But and if you have a topic that you would love for us to hit on, you can call us at 954-336-3767. We're going to have so many different experts coming on our show. And I'm sure there'll be a show out there that you'll say, that's what I want to know about. I thought today's show with the divorce attorney.
They were
wow,
wonderful.
that was
They really
intense.
were.
That was
Wonderful.
That
And
was
she does immigration as well.
I know.
And that's a huge topic
Yeah,
right
it is.
now, based on what's going on in this country. So that's
It
going to be.
is.
We're not going to get into politics right now, Steve. I'm going to cut you off before
it
you even
is
say anything.
so crazy what is going
I know,
on.
but so immigration
in
is a
our-
huge thing right now.
Okay, I
It's a
got
huge area.
I got the hint.
Okay,
So
it's not a
listen,
hint, I'm telling
if
you.
you would like, seriously, if you would like to have your company on our show, call us at 954-336-3767. If you want to know how to win the lottery, don't call me.
Don't call him.
After
And don't buy
buying-
10 cards and win $1.
I won more than $1,
He
okay?
bought 30 cards.
Oh,
bought
so he
30.
won $3. Big deal.
No, hey, actually one of them was $50. Thank you very much.
You mean to tell me he never told you he won?
No.
No. You know what? For $50, listen, if he won $50,000, he didn't tell me.
He wouldn't
That
tell
would
you
be a
that
problem.
either.
That would be a problem. No, that he would share with me.
Okay, so listen, I'm sorry about U.S. Mold. Great company. We will have them on. They will be coming back. Thank
Stop giving him
everybody.
the right address.
I know I did, though. I know I did.
Okay.
Freddie, thanks for stepping in
Thanks,
today.
Freddie. That's
problem. Thank you for having me.
amptotv.
We love amptotv.
We did.
Thank you. Thanks, Linda Harmon and Freddie Jr. Thank you, WWNN 1470. I'm so glad we are back. I love the station. Always have. Thanks for joining us. Peace and love, everybody.
We're out.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.